Have you ever imagined being just 16 years old and carrying the weight of saving your entire family from falling apart? Now imagine right in the middle of that desperate journey you uncover a dark secret, one that changes everything. Today, I'm going to tell you the story of a young boy named Noah. He faced a devastating economic crisis, exposed a conspiracy that was tearing his town apart, and had to make some of the hardest choices anyone his age could ever face, all to protect the ones he loved most. But here's the most shocking part: Noah got involved in something far too dangerous. And it almost cost him his life. What really happened? Did he survive the threats closing in around him? And in the end, did he truly manage to save his family? Stay with me to the very end, because this story is one you won't forget. And don't forget to subscribe, sweetheart, because here on this channel, we share the most heartwarming and sometimes heart-pounding stories you'll ever hear. Now, take a deep breath, because this journey is about to pull you in from the very first second.
Young man saves family from cruel businessman. The morning sun barely peeked over Havenwood, a small American town that seemed to have stopped in time, but the calm was just a facade. The economic crisis, like a relentless ghost, hung over every house, every family. In the midst of the storm, we meet Noah, a 16-year-old boy with eyes that carry the worry of an adult. His family, once a pillar of hope in the community, now struggled to keep up with the bills, with the shadow of eviction looming larger each day. His father, a man with hands calloused from work, now sought any job to support the house, while his mother, a woman with a giant heart, tried to keep the family together even with the sadness etched on her face. Little Clara, Noah's 8-year-old sister, still maintained a spark of innocence, but even she felt the change in the air, the tension that hung over everyone. Noah watched everything, feeling the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. He saw the anguish of his parents, the innocence of his sister, and the hopelessness taking over Havenwood. Each day, the situation became more unsustainable and the threat of losing everything became more real. That boy, with a heavy heart, knew that he could no longer stand still, that he needed to act, that he needed to do something to change his family's story. And it was in that moment of despair, with the courage of a lion and the determination of a warrior, that he made the decision that would change everything: to walk for hours to the nearest big city in search of work and hope. A journey that would test his limits and lead him to discover the strength he didn't even know he possessed. Havenwood, nestled between verdant hills and golden cornfields, was the epitome of a typical American small town. Life there followed a slow rhythm, with neighbors knowing each other by name and the church bell marking the time. But the economic crisis had transformed this scenario, leaving marks of unemployment and despair. The old furniture factory, which used to be the heart of the city, was closed, and with this the future seemed uncertain. Noah, a 16-year-old, was a smart and sensitive boy with a generous heart and a restless mind. He had grown up in the simplicity of rural life, learning to value hard work and the importance of family. His father, a man of few words but of great heart, had always been his example of honesty and perseverance. His mother, a strong and loving woman, was the pillar of the family, always with a smile on her face, even in the face of difficulties. Little Clara, with her 8 years, was the joy of the house, with her fertile imagination and contagious energy. She was the light that illuminated the dark days, the hope that kept the family together. Noah loved her deeply and would do anything to protect her. The relationship between the three was one of love and companionship, but the crisis had shaken this harmony. Noah's motivation to start his journey was the unconditional love for his family and the need to change the course of their story. He couldn't bear to see his parents suffering, his sister sad, his house threatened. He felt that he needed to do something, that he needed to act, that he needed to find a solution. And it was with this determination that he decided to leave, with a heavy heart but with the hope of a better future. Noah's journey, already arduous, takes on dramatic contours when he discovers that the city's crisis is no mere coincidence but the result of maneuvers by a local businessman interested in buying land for next to nothing. The hope of a job in the big city vanishes as he faces closed doors and looks of contempt, intensifying his anguish. Amidst the exhaustion, he finds a note hidden in his father's coat pocket, revealing a family secret, an old debt that threatens not only the house but also his father's freedom. The revelation hits him like a lightning bolt, and the journey in search of work turns into a race against time to save his family. Noah's initial goal was simple: to find a job in the big city to help his family pay the bills and avoid eviction. But the revelation of his father's secret debt added a new urgency to his mission. Now, he not only needed to work, but also find a way to pay off this debt that threatened his father's freedom. Upon arriving in the city, Noah faced the harsh reality of the lack of opportunities. Doors closed, employers ignored him, the city seemed hostile and impersonal. He felt lost and discouraged, but he couldn't give up. He needed to find a way to overcome these obstacles, to move forward, to fulfill his mission. In the midst of his search, Noah met a young woman named Maya, a waitress who worked in a small restaurant. She was touched by Noah's story and decided to help him. Maya became a friend and ally, offering support and guidance. She introduced him to other people, helped him find small jobs, encouraged him not to give up. The relationship between Noah and Maya deepened, turning into a true friendship. They shared their stories, their dreams, their difficulties. Maya became a confidant for Noah, someone who understood and supported him. This friendship became a beacon of hope in the midst of darkness, a source of strength to move forward. While Noah struggled to find a job and pay off his father's debt, a new conflict arose in Havenwood. The residents, led by Noah's mother, began to organize to protest against the local businessman who was taking advantage of the crisis to buy their land at low prices. The city, once peaceful, became the stage for major demonstrations and tensions. Noah's life, already full of challenges, took a turn when he received a desperate call from his mother. The news was alarming. His father had been arrested, accused of not paying the secret debt revealed by the note. The arrest of his father was not only an emotional blow, but also an even greater obstacle to his family's survival. The urgency of his mission intensified, and the search for work turned into a race against time to free his father. The news of the arrest spread quickly through Havenwood, and the community came together to support Noah's family. The neighbors organized to raise money, offered food and shelter to his mother and sister. Solidarity became the weapon against hopelessness, and the union of the community became a beacon of hope in the midst of darkness. Meanwhile, in the big city, Noah felt powerless and desperate. He knew he needed to act, that he needed to find a way to free his father. He knew that he could no longer rely only on small jobs. He needed to find a way to earn money fast, to pay off his father's debt, to free him from prison. He decided to risk it, decided to bet on an opportunity that could change his life, an opportunity that could save his family. And it was with this decision that Noah's story took a new turn, a turn that would lead him to face even greater challenges, but also to discover the strength he didn't even know he possessed. The arrest of Noah's father unleashed a wave of despair and urgency. He knew he needed to act quickly, but the options seemed scarce. The small amount he managed to save from his jobs was not enough to pay off the debt and pay the legal costs. Determined to change his luck, Noah became involved in a risky job, a delivery service for a mysterious man named Victor. The job paid well, but Noah felt that something was wrong, something he couldn't decipher. He felt torn between the need to earn money and the fear of getting involved in something dangerous. Meanwhile, in Havenwood, Noah's mother, with the help of the neighbors, organized a protest against the local businessman, the one responsible for the crisis in the city and for the arrest of her husband. Noah's sister, Clara, also got involved in the community's struggle. She, with her innocence and joy, distributed flowers and messages of hope to the protesters. Her presence was a reminder of what was at stake, of what they were fighting to protect, the future of her family and her city. In the midst of his struggle, Noah met a lawyer named Daniel who offered to help his father. Daniel was an upright and fair man who believed in the innocence of Noah's father. He became an ally, a guide, a friend. His help was essential for Noah's fight for his father's freedom. The relationship between Noah and Maya deepened even further. She became a constant support, a confidant, a companion in the fight. Maya helped him stay strong, not lose hope, move forward. Her love was a beacon in the midst of darkness, a source of strength for Noah. Noah's situation became even more complicated when he discovered that Victor, his employer, was involved in illegal activities. He found himself trapped in a web of lies and dangers, with the threat of being discovered every day. The need to earn money to free his father put him at constant risk. Meanwhile, in Havenwood, the protests against the local businessman intensified, leading to clashes with the police and increasing tension in the city. Noah's mother, with her inspiring leadership, became a target for the businessman who tried to silence her at any cost. The safety of Noah's family was in danger. Lawyer Daniel, while investigating the case of Noah's father, discovered evidence that he had been unfairly accused. He became an important ally in the fight for Noah's father's freedom, but he also became a target for enemies. His life was at risk. The relationship between Noah and Maya faced a moment of crisis when she discovered Noah's involvement with Victor. She felt betrayed and hurt, questioning Noah's honesty. The trust between them was shaken, and the future of their friendship became uncertain. Noah's situation reached a critical point when he discovered that Victor was planning to frame his father in an even bigger scheme. He found himself facing a difficult choice: continue working for Victor and risk his father's life, or denounce him and put himself in danger. He knew he needed to make a decision, that he needed to act, that he needed to fight. Determined to protect his family, Noah joined forces with Daniel to expose Victor's crimes. They devised a risky plan which involved the help of Maya and the participation of the Havenwood community. The tension was palpable, the threat was real, but Noah's determination was unwavering. Meanwhile, Noah's mother, leading the protests in Havenwood, managed to attract the attention of the national media. The story of the city, of the crisis, of the injustice, became a symbol of the fight against corruption and inequality. The voice of the community was heard, hope was reborn. Noah's sister, Clara, with her innocence and wisdom, sent a letter to her father expressing her love and faith. The letter, full of emotion, reached Noah's father in prison, giving him strength to resist, not to lose hope, to believe in justice. The relationship between Noah and Maya strengthened when she realized Noah's honesty and courage. She forgave him, supported him, loved him even more. Noah and lawyer Daniel's plan to expose Victor's crimes began to unfold. They gathered evidence, witnesses, and allies, preparing for the final confrontation. Meanwhile, in Havenwood, Noah's mother, with the help of the community, organized a large protest in front of the police station, demanding the release of her husband and the punishment of the culprits. Businessman Victor, feeling threatened, tried to silence Noah, offering him money and power. But Noah refused, reaffirming his commitment to justice and to his family. Noah's loyalty was unwavering. Lawyer Daniel, with his intelligence and cunning, managed to obtain a confession from one of Victor's accomplices, revealing the truth about the crimes and the innocence of Noah's father. Justice was near. Noah and Daniel's plan to expose Victor suffered a setback when one of Victor's accomplices, frightened, tried to warn him about the trap. Meanwhile, in Havenwood, the protest in front of the police station became a direct confrontation with the police, who tried to disperse the protesters. Noah's mother, leading the crowd, found herself in danger but did not give up, reaffirming her commitment to justice. The relationship between Noah and Maya was tested when Victor kidnapped her, using her as a bargaining chip to silence Noah. Maya's life was in danger, and Noah found himself facing an impossible choice: save Maya or expose Victor. Lawyer Daniel managed to track down Victor's whereabouts, preparing for the final confrontation. Justice was near, but the danger was real. The final confrontation with Victor took place in an abandoned warehouse where he held Maya hostage. Noah, with the help of Daniel, managed to break into the place, facing Victor's henchmen in a tense and dangerous fight. Adrenaline rushed through his veins, determination guided his steps, love for his family propelled him forward. Meanwhile, in Havenwood, Noah's mother led the crowd in a peaceful but firm protest in front of the police station. The pressure from the media and the community became unsustainable for the authorities, who were forced to investigate the case of Noah's father. Justice was near. In the fight against Victor, Noah managed to free Maya but found himself facing a dilemma: arrest Victor and risk the lives of his henchmen, or let him escape and put his family in danger. He knew he needed to make a decision, that he needed to act, that he needed to fight. With the help of Daniel, Noah managed to arrest Victor and his henchmen, handing them over to the police. The truth about Victor's crimes came to light, the innocence of Noah's father was proven, justice was done. The fight was over, the victory had been won. Noah's father was released from prison, reuniting with his family in a moment of great emotion. Joy filled everyone, hope was reborn, love triumphed. The family was united again, stronger than ever. After Victor's arrest, life in Havenwood began to rebuild. The city, once marked by hopelessness, now breathed a new air of optimism and unity. Noah's family, united and strengthened by the ordeal, became an example of overcoming for everyone. Noah, after his journey of challenges and discoveries, became a more mature and conscious young man. He learned that courage, determination, and love are the most powerful weapons to face life's difficulties. He also discovered the importance of family, friendship, and community. The relationship between Noah and Maya grew stronger, blossoming into a true and unconditional love. They became partners in life, in struggle, and in hope. Noah's father, after being released from prison, returned to work, rebuilding his life and his dignity. Noah's mother, with her inspiring leadership, continued to fight for justice and equality, transforming Havenwood into a better place. Noah's sister, Clara, grew up in an environment of love and hope, learning the importance of family, friendship, and community. She became an intelligent and sensitive young woman with a generous heart and an inquisitive mind. Noah's story teaches us that we can all change the world, one step at a time, one heart at a time, one story at a time. And you, are you ready to write your story?